Bill Belichick has felt the need to clarify the comments that were made by Robert Kraft today in speaking with ESPN, I believe, Shime.
That's correct, Greg. If you thought there was any kind of olive branch being extended, you would be wrong. Bill Belichick went out of his way to reach out to ESPN and commented on this.
We need the full length of the comments, please.
You got
if
it.
You could.
Quote, as I told Robert multiple times through the years, I took a big risk by taking the New England Patriots head coaching job. I already had an opportunity to be the head coach of the New York Jets, but the ownership situation was unstable. I had been warned by multiple previous Patriots coaches, as well as other members of other NFL organizations and the media, that the New England job was going to come with many internal obstacles. I made it clear that we would have to change the way the team was managed to regain the previously attained success.
Wow.
He's not wrong. We talked about it when we played it during They Said It. It's Robert Kraft wanting to take full credit for Bill Belichick. And I don't know that he deserves full credit for everything that Bill Belichick did. I don't mind Bill. Reaching out to ESPN and wanting to clarify the record as soon as you hear the comments is, could be a little petty. But
at least this goes to show you there will be no Bill Belichick statue.
There will be a statue.
There's no way there is.
He's definitely not coming to the Tom Brady statue.
No, he's not going to the Tom Brady
statue.
statue.
And there's no way he's getting a statue. No.
But think about this from Bill's perspective for a minute, because we talked about these comments last week, and I said, I feel like that's a little bit of a shot, because it makes it sound from what Kraft says like Bill was this guy who was so on the outs after what happened in Cleveland that he's like some guy that nobody wants to touch.
Couldn't get a job.
And so he takes this huge risk, like it's so crazy to hire Bill Belichick. And in reality, he was already a head coach somewhere else. So, like he had already gotten another shot after Cleveland from another franchise within the division. So it's I can understand how Bill would be defensive about how that's portrayed.
So I have to ask a question, and I have to ask the question because this is not something normally we would think Bill Belichick would do. How much is this influenced by his girlfriend? Because she seems to be one who has no problem at clapping back. Exactly.
So you think she's in his ear saying, "Hey,
I had to ask the question.
Did you hear what Robert Kraft said about you today?
He's taking all the credit for your success." I had to ask the question just because this is not something in previous years that Bill would do. He would not seek out ESPN to give them a quote saying that he also took a risk.
But I think Bill feels burned. We've talked about this a lot, and I've said this a bunch of times, but I'll repeat it. I think he feels burned by the way in which the exit happened because I think he agreed as a classy individual would to describe that as a mutual parting of the ways, and to have some glad handing and a happy-go-lucky end of the 10-year press conference. And it wasn't that long afterward that Robert Kraft went on with Charlemagne the God and said, "I fired Bill Belichick."
And the dynasty came out.
It wasn't that long afterward that the dynasty came out. So I think he has every right to stand up for himself and the reputation if these things are going to continue to be said that don't put him in the positive light that he deserves to be put in.
Right.
And Curtis would disagree with me if Curtis were here, but I feel strongly about that. The same way I feel strongly about the fact that without Tom Brady, Bill Belichick wouldn't have done what he did, and without Bill Belichick, Tom Brady wouldn't have been able to do as much as he did. So.
Right, but I think it's more of like when you, and this is why I always talk about the Kraft Belichick relationship. It is very strained in the sense that when Bill left, it was a lot of just like negativity and trash being thrown Bill's way, how difficult of a coach he was to work with. And, whether if you're a player, if you were in the front office or you're a coach, it was a lot of that rather than man, it was a privilege to have this guy for 20 years and what he was able to accomplish as a coach. And, and the documentary being, look what he was able to do. And, all these different facets of this dynastic run and the issues that he had and to deal with in the off the field and on the field.
It's not necessary either. Like, it's just a waste of time if you're the New England Patriots. Like, you don't have to besmirch the guy. What Bill Belichick did here in the organization is not in any way, shape, or form a negative when you give him credit for doing what he did. Like, it doesn't.
Right, but I think a lot of the problem with this, and this is just me from being an outsider's perspective, and kind of
an insider,
but an insider
you're there on the inside,
right? And I think part of my perspective is everybody wants to claim the reason why we were good was because of me.
Yeah, it's the success has many fathers, failure is an orphan.
Right, and everybody wants that claim.
Well, you're forced into doing that when, no offense, you're not that good and haven't been that good for a while. So you're forced into going back and looking at the glory days and then trying to and what?
The member berries.
Yeah, and trying to take credit for it. They assembled a, top to bottom for a good period of time, an unbelievable group of coaches, of players, of people that were around them who were wildly successful. It's the sum of all the parts, and there's nothing, you're not diminishing what you put into it, what your role was, by giving credit to other people.
What they have to do now is go to Brady and say who took the bigger risk in that relationship. Was it Bill or Kraft?
I mean, Tom Brady,
and he'll be the tiebreaker.
Tom Brady has generally stayed out of this, which I give him a lot of credit for. Like, because he's asked about it and he gives credit to everybody. Like, it's so petty, it's stupid.
Well, he's busy. So, he's got some yacht dates to go to. He's got some weddings to go to.
He does. Yes,
but
he
also, with Tom, Tom is calculated because what he does, he stays out of it. But then he'll say, like, it's about the players. The players are the ones that win championship.
Bill used to say that.
No, I know that.
I'm getting dragged for saying that Bill Belichick has been classy in this. I don't know.
He's not the one that made a documentary to recount his days on the team.
No, but Bill has come across as like, he hasn't done a documentary, but if you look at some of Bill's interviews and some of the things, he does come across as like, all right, well, I'm the one who built this thing here. And this is how I built it, and this is the way we built it. I'm the one who drafted Brady. So I get Robert going,
well, he is.
Well, no, and I agree with that, but I get Robert going, well, I'm the one who hired you.
And doesn't he have a leg to stand on, Wiggy, when it comes to reacting? Like, it's not like he's the one originally doing all this and trying to claim that he's the reason that the Patriots dynasty existed. He felt like he was getting disregarded and felt like he needed to reassert himself. Right.
And a lot of it is also because, Mego, when you hear people like this, a lot of the times they don't sound genuine when they try to say it was a group effort.
Who are you talking about, Bill?
Well, I'm talking about all
just
of them.
in general.
Just in general, like when, sometimes when you hear Robert, you hear Bill, or you hear Tom, like they don't always sound genuine. They say, yeah, it was a collaborative effort. I think that's kind of them being PC. But then at times when you kind of hear it and like saying, all right, it seems like it's more about, okay, I was the main reason why we were successful, 80% of it. And I think that's why, as somebody who was in there and understands how, people at that level, their egos kind of get in the way, you could tell sometimes it doesn't really sound genuine when they're like, yeah, we all kind of did it. Robert was a help, Tom was great. Or Tom will go, yeah, Bill was a great coach, but we still had to go out there as players, and it's just.
But all that's true. Like
it is, but it comes across
as they did all have to do it. Like nobody deserves single credit for what for the dynasty. Like it's impossible to give full credit to anybody.
It's all so petty, dude. Like, you guys won 6 titles. Who cares who was the impetus behind all of it? Like, it's just, you guys accomplished something amazing. Like, revel in that. Like, relish that. Don't, like, just
right,
throw
but
stones at
Shine,
each
but
other.
there are people when their egos or they get to that level that sometimes those egos get in the way, and it's, it doesn't sound genuine for them to do it. There are other guys who say, listen, man, we all had a role in this. I bust people's chops all the time and say, you know what, if it wasn't for Tom, if it wasn't for my snow game performance,
Here we go.
True, you were a part of it.
yeah, but I know at the
You
end
were a part of it.
I know at the end of the day, I played a small specific role in helping the team win a championship.
Yeah.
And I know what my role is, but when you get to a higher level and you're like more of the reasoning why, I think sometimes the ego gets in the way.